Guys, today I'm going to share some special fragrances with you guys. 10 fragrances in my collection that I consider to be masterpieces, like complete 10 out of 10 fragrances. I've done a list like this before, so some of the fragrances that you may expect are not on this list because I've talked about them before on a list like this. I think I've done this once or twice before. So fragrances like Portrait of a Lady you won't see because I've already labeled that a masterpiece. But I have 10 more that I've acquired since that time that I feel like need to be in that category. That's what we're getting into. What's going on YouTube? I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy, man. We talk about fragrances on this channel, of course, but I think it's important to smell good but look great as well. Both to me are equally important. To me, that's like the total package. So if you want to look good and smell great, I could help you or assist you in doing that. Click subscribe. Make sure you enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well. So that way, anytime a new video is uploaded, you'll get notified. So guys, you heard it in the intro. Don't really have to go back through that. We're going to be talking about 10 fragrances in my collection, of course, in my opinion, that I consider to be a masterpiece. Now, perfect 10 out of 10s, I don't throw that word around lightly. So these are 10 fragrances that I really love, and for different reasons, I consider them to be, perfect 10s or masterpiece fragrances. So we're going to run the intro. When we come back, we're going to get into it. So if you want to see what's on the list, you know how we rock. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to jump right into it really quickly. Some of you may be newer to the channel. A few years ago, I did 5 fragrances with Navitus Parfums, and I'll put a picture of them up here. So if you have not gotten those fragrances, well, one of them you can't get anymore. Not Divine Aphrodisiac, Serenade. You can't get that one, but the other ones I think are still available on Navitus. Obviously, I consider those to be masterpieces because I worked on them, but I don't include those on the list. But I just wanted to mention that because some of you may be newer subscribers to the channel and may not be aware that I've done fragrances with Navitus Parfums. I served as the creative director on 5 fragrances. Serenade and Obad, well, it was named Obad initially, and we changed the name to Lyrik. And then we have Eau de Bonaire, Divine Aphrodisiac, and Sartorio Nuit. So if you don't have those yet, make sure you grab those. Now, the first fragrance up on the list is from the brand of BowTie Victorious, and I have said before, this could potentially, probably, might be my favorite fragrance in my entire collection. And this one is called Blue Sapphire. Blue Sapphire. This is lemon, chamomile, rose, oud, and tagettes. Now, the tagettes and the chamomile give this nice kind of herbal nuance to this fragrance, and it just works perfectly in harmony with this lemon note. I've always said the opening reminds me of lemon heads. If you ever had those back in the day, had a chance to experience or eat lemon heads, that's the imagery I get when I smell this fragrance. Obviously, it's a rose fragrance, and I love that note, but this is unlike any other rose oud fragrance that I have in my collection. This is not an animalic oud. It's not over the top, in your face. This is smooth. Love this stuff. An absolute masterpiece in my humble opinion. An easy 10 out of 10 for me. So get yourself a sample, guys. I know these fragrances from BowTie are expensive, but trust me, I think it's worth it. From the brand of BowTie Victorious, this is Blue Sapphire. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list for me comes from the brand of Tom Ford, the private blend collection. This is Fougere Platine. My gosh, this is amazing. This is lavender, this is basil, honey, and tobacco. Now, Fougeres obviously have a certain characteristic. You're always going to find lavender is like the main note in a good fougere. And I've always said what I love about this one is it is a unique fougere. It's one of the things I look for now in fragrances. Give me something that is unique. And when you added the honey and the tobacco to the fougere genre, you knocked it out of the park. I love this stuff, man. It is sophisticated and sexy at the same time. When win, in my humble opinion. Check it out. This is from the brand of Tom Ford, the Private Blend Collection. This one is called Fougere Platine. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from the brand of Amouage. Man, it should be a crime to be as good as some of these fragrances are. And I sincerely, earnestly feel that way about all 10 of these fragrances, man. This one is called Reflection 45. What a masterpiece this is. Lavender neroli, jasmine, myrrh, and a Papanax. So those first notes that I mentioned are some of the main notes that you get from the original, in addition to sandalwood. But I always said they added some grittiness to this fragrance with the myrrh, the Papanax, added a little bit of iris to give it even more of a slightly earthy, powdery nuance. Absolute home run. It took the Reflection Man DNA and made it even more versatile. Obviously, you can wear fragrances when you want, apply how much of it you want. I still think there are kind of rules, unsaid rules that kind of go into the whole fragrance wearing experience. So Reflection Man, yeah, you can wear it year round, but now it's even better year round because of those kind of resonance and kind of gritty, earthy nuances that they added to the DNA. Easy 10 out of 10 in my humble opinion, from the brand of Amouage, Reflection 45. All right, the next fragrance comes from the brand of Scents of Woods, and this one is called Plum and Cognac. Plum and Cognac. Plum, cognac, of course, some of the main notes, but they also have some tobacco and vanilla in this fragrance as well. Plum is one of my top 6 notes in perfumery. I love this. There's some slight, almost incensey, smoky nuances to this fragrance. You definitely get that woodiness that you find in fragrances like Angel Share that kind of have that oak wood thing. You kind of pick that up here, but of course the plum and cognac, the two highlights, and this stuff is an absolute home run. This brand actually has some more fragrances I've gotten a few samples of before that I want to add to the collection because they were really, really good as well. There's one with praline in it that I really want to get. But anyway, this is easily a 10 out of 10 fragrance to me. For you guys out there that love plum, if you like fragrances like Angel Share, it doesn't smell like that, but I'm just saying, if you love those kind of scent profiles, Plum Japonais from Tom Ford, which is discontinued, check this out. Absolute home run from the brand of Scents of Woods. This is Plum and Cognac. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list comes from the brand Narcotica. Another one of my favorite notes is amber. Again, unique take on amber. That's what caught my attention. This one is called Doza Amber Intense. Doza Amber Intense. Obviously, this is amber. This is incense. This is tobacco. This is vanilla bean as well. Oh, this is so good. Guys, vanilla bean is not sweet like the typical vanilla that you smell in a lot of fragrances. It's not confectionery at all. This is very dark. Vanilla bean is more dark, a little bit dry almost, and that's what you get here. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. There's this incense and cypress and black pepper thing in the top that makes this a unique amber fragrance in my opinion, along with that vanilla bean note in here. Beautiful amber accord obviously in here as well. It's boozy. Of course, it's tobacco. Plays really well with those smoky and kind of spicy nuances in the top. Listen, just get your nose on it. If you love amber, you'll probably understand why I put this on the list as a masterpiece. Home run from the brand of Narcotica. This is Doza Amber Intense. All right, guys, next up, this fragrance comes from the brand of Argos. Adonis Awakens. Adonis Awakens. What you get here is raspberry, rose, grapefruit, vanilla, and sandalwood are some of the main notes to my nose. Man, this is crazy how good this is to me. Absolutely crazy. Now, the new Sacred Flames may be on a list in the future. I always say Danae. These are my top 3 from that brand. But this, man, every time I put my nose on it, I'm reminded of how spectacular this fragrance is. The raspberry up top, man, is almost something about this makes my mouth water. It's not a gourmand fragrance, but something about it just makes my mouth water. It's just good. There's no way for me to really describe it other than to say that this is just one you got to put your nose on. This is an easy masterpiece 10 out of 10 fragrance from the brand of Argos, man. Check it out, guys. Adonis Awakens. All right, the next fragrance up is from one of my favorite brands. This is from the brand of By Kilian, and this is Apple Brandy. Apple Brandy. What you get here, guys, of course, is oak wood, apple, labdanum, and vanilla as some of the main notes in this masterpiece of a concoction. Where do I start? I don't really know. How many ways can I count that I love this fragrance? But listen, if you like Angel Share, this is a less sweet, more woody, mature interpretation kind of Angel Share. Now this came out first, but it doesn't have the praline and the tonka and some of those notes that kind of made Angel Share a sweeter fragrance, but it kind of reminds you of that. It definitely is gonna, the apple and the kind of oak wood that you get from Angel Share, that's present here. But again, a little hint of vanilla to give it a little bit of sweetness, but that labdanum gives a slight kind of resinous touch to this fragrance. This is absolute masterpiece. Now this one is discontinued. Kilian has been kind of bringing in fragrances to kind of replace some of the classics. And again, Angel Share will get you in the ballpark of this. Actually, single malt will kind of get you in the ballpark of this. Now we have old fashioned. That may be the closest thing to this, but masterpiece. Just if you can get a sample, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's from the brand of Kilian. This is Apple Brand. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the brand of Parfums. This is easily my favorite sheeper in the entire world. This is Diaghilev. And what you get with Diaghilev is peach. You get some oak moss in this fragrance as well. Leather, vetiver, nutmeg, just to name a few notes. I mean, Parfums fragrances have about 25, 30, 40 notes in them. Those are just some of the ones that kind of stand out. Now it's a fruity chypre. That peach in there is really a standout in the opening. But I've always said, guys, fougere chypres, if you dress up in a suit, these are the genres to me that actually mesh the best with, a suit, a level 1 attire, level 2, level 1 attire. Chypres and fougeres, this is my favorite chypre in the entire world. It's expensive, but my God, when you smell it, I think you'll be able to rationalize why it's so expensive. It's an absolute masterpiece. No other way for me to describe it. You just got to get your nose on this stuff, man. If you love chypres, check this out. It is absolutely fantastic. This is called Diaghilev. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the brand of Les Indémodables, and this is called Vanille Havane. Vanille Havane. Look at the color of that juice, man. This is, of course, vanilla bean, rum, dried fruits, and tobacco. This is another fragrance, like I said earlier, that features that vanilla bean, which is really dark, kind of mysterious and sexy, not sweet like most vanillas are. Of course, it has that booziness in here, but if you like tobacco, this is a very authentic smelling tobacco fragrance. I will say this, some of these fragrances, especially one like this, when I first got into fragrances, this probably wouldn't have been something that I would smell and like it and think it was a 10 out of 10. These fragrances right here, a lot of times your nose matures, it's about the creativity of it. And when you can smell naturals, natural ingredients, you can smell quality, creativity, more so that artsy side of fragrances. That is one of the things that really puts this fragrance over the top. I love tobacco, and this is one of the best tobacco fragrances in my collection, hands down. So if you can get yourself a sample of it or get your hands on it, if you love tobacco, I think you'll be really, really impressed with this one from the brand of Les Indémodables. This is called Vanille Havane. All right, guys, and last but not least, I have said this fragrance is one of the best things I've ever smelled, and I stick by that. It is from the brand of BDK Parfums, and this one is called Tobacco Rose. And what you get here is plum, rose, tobacco, and chocolate. Those are the notes. Those are the main notes in this fragrance. Man, you just have to smell it. I don't really have any words for it. Again, just know that I've said before, this is one of the best things I've ever smelled. As far as what I like, what I look for in fragrances, this fragrance blew me away. I love it. Rose is one of my favorite notes. And this stuff right here, again, is just next level. Check it out. It's from the brand of BDK Parfums. This is definitely a masterpiece. This is Tobacco Rose. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today, as I gave you 10 fragrances, in my humble opinion, that I consider to be a masterpiece. What are some fragrances you have in your collection, guys, that you consider to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece of a fragrance? I would love to hear from you guys down in the comment section. Now, as always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian, on the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.